بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق.
Assalamu alaikum. Introduction to proteins. First of all, what is protein? The term protein is derived from the Greek words proteus, which mean primary or holding first place. Basically, these are nitrogenous macromolecules, and mainly they are comprises of different type of many amino acids. They have high molecular weight of about 5,000 to 2,500,000. They can provide energy in the form of that each gram of protein contains about 4 calories. It is responsible for the building up of 15% of the person's body weight. And the basic unit is the L-alpha amino acids. Proteins are the primary constituent of the living things, and it is a major class of the biochemistry. It provides a machinery of cells, many enzymes and their subunits. Each protein is basically a linear polymer of amino acid, and we have about 20 standard amino acid. This is the basic structure of the amino acid, and it is an L amino acid, in which amino acid is on the left side and carboxylic group on the right side, and there is a R group which is responsible for the synthesis of the different type of amino acids. Just like organic compounds, it is comprising of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen and oxygen. Sometimes sulfur is also present, for example in case of L-cysteine and L-methionines. Amino acids, water amino acids, they are building blocks of proteins, and they are interconnected with each other with peptide linkages. Orientation of the carbon is alpha, while amino group is associated with the potential positive charge, while carboxylic group is associated with negative charge, and side chain R is vary in different type of amino acids. Proteins, it is not necessary that all amino acids should be present in a given protein. Now, the arrangement of these amino acids will lead different types of protein structures, and mainly there are 4 protein structures: primary structures, secondary structures, tertiary structures and quaternary structures. In primary structures, normal free amino group is connected with carboxylic group, and they link with each other with the help of peptide bonds, and the sequence is simple and linear. Primary structure of the protein can be compared with the base sequence of the concerned nucleic acid, and in this proteins in protein they are basically formed by the polypeptide linkage of the amino acid, while nucleic acids are the polynucleotides made up of RNA and DNA. Protein contains amino group at one end and the R group at the other end, and while in case of nucleic acid they contain phosphoric acid at one end and OH group at the other end. Amino acids are linked by peptide bonds in proteins, while in case of nucleotides they are basically linked with each other with phosphodiester bonds. However, they form a linear structure, and they form either in the when these linear structure is associated with the formation of some more non-covalent bonds between amine and carboxylic group of the amino acids, which are very close to each other. They lead to the secondary structure. So what happened? The primary structures, the amino acids formed and the primary structure. These primary structures are further undergo the process in which adjacent amino acid form additional non-covalent bonds and lead to some secondary structures. These secondary structures are either alpha type helices or beta sheets. In alpha type helices, they are somewhat similar molecular, simple, and basically they are stabilized by the hydrogen bonding. In case of beta sheets, they form the zigzag pattern, and in this they are stabilized by the hydrogen bonding. In tertiary case, polypeptide chain bends and folds at various places, and they produce somewhat spherical conformation just like this. This spherical formation is helpful for the specificity of the enzyme, just like lock and key model. Now this type of protein will be bind to the specific type of receptors, so mostly in the body tertiary proteins are present, or the protein having the tertiary conjugation. Some proteins exist as association of two or more polypeptide chains, and they different type of polypeptide chains are bound together either by the non-covalent bond or in some occasions by covalent bond, and this association will lead to the some coordinate structures. For example, in case of human hemoglobin, it consists of 4 individual polypeptide chains. These are 2 identical alpha chains and 2 identical beta chains. So, coordinate structure is the complicated one, in which the protein is highly coiled and it is also a charged molecule. Synthesis of protein. Protein synthesis usually occur under the direction of the information stored in the DNA. Different kind of RNAs such as ribosomal RNA, transfer RNA and messenger RNA produce a DNA template through the process of transcription. So protein synthesis occur on the ribosome, where transfer RNA brings amino acids to form polypeptide according to the codon in the messenger RNA. Thus, the message from the DNA is translated into the protein. Different components of protein synthesis. There are different components of protein synthesis. We will not go in the details, as it is not our topic. Now what are the sources of the proteins? For the major rich sources of the proteins are bean, pulses, peas, chicken, nuts, seeds, milk, eggs and meats, and majorly we are dependent on the outsource of the protein. Unlike carbohydrate and fats, our body cannot be stored so much protein. We doesn't have a lot of reservoir, so we are basically dependent on these sources. There are some other sources as well. What are alternative sources? Alternative sources are that somewhat in other process these proteins are synthesized as a byproduct. For example, whey protein. So whey protein is a byproduct of the cheese making process, and typically it is present in the supplements like protein powders associated with the use of the weight loss. Another type of protein is found in the hemp plant, which is a hemp protein, which can be easily isolated from this plant, and these are also available as a seed, as a powder and a milk. Another type of synthetic protein is available, which is a soy protein. It is derived from the soya beans, and it is also in the form of, it is available in different form, including milk, tofu and various meat substitute, flour and oil. How proteins are detected? So proteins are detected by a very complex procedure. We will discuss in the separate slide. However, a brief insight is that there are two major methods. One is spectrometry method and other is antibody dependent method. In case of spectrometry method, we will basically force the protein to undergo some processes, some chemical processes, and they are compared with the standards. The example is that high performance liquid chromatography or liquid chromatography linked with the mass spectrophotometry. Antibody dependent methods, the basic principle is that in this we react the antibody with the specific type of protein, and it will lead its precipitation or separation. Whatever the antibody dependent methods are the most sophisticated methods. classification of proteins. Proteins are classified in there are three different types of classification. These are on the basis of shape and size of the protein, on the basis of functional characteristic, on the basis of their solubility and physical properties. On the basis of shape and size, we have basically two types of protein. One is fibrous protein and another is globular protein. The length of the protein is very important. If the axial ratio of the length to width ratio is more than 10, then the protein is termed as fibrous protein. While if example is alpha keratin, which is found in hair collagen, while another is globular protein. When the axial ratio of the length to the width of the protein is less than 10, it is called as globular protein, and the example is myoglobin and hemoglobin. While on the basis of functional properties, they are characterized on the basis of their use. For example, we have defense proteins, we have contractile proteins responsible for the contraction in the skeletal muscles, we have respiratory proteins which participate in the process of respiration, we have structural proteins which are responsible for the structural formation of the skin, cartilage and nails, we have certain enzymes which used as a catalyst, we have hormones which produce some actions related to the hormones. We have some storage proteins like casein, ovalbumin and gluten. We have some signaling proteins like insulin, growth factors and receptors, etc., etc. On the basis of solubility, we have simple and physical property, we have simple proteins, conjugated proteins and derived proteins. Simple proteins are those proteins which on complete hydrolysis yield only amino acids. So these are the most common type of proteins, and the example of these are protamines, albumin and histones, and there are numerous examples which come under this group. Another type is conjugated protein. Conjugated proteins are those proteins in which addition to amino acids they also contain a non-protein group which is called as prostatic group in their structure. This prostatic group is basically responsible for their functional activity. Example is nucleoproteins, mucoproteins, glycoproteins, chromoproteins, phosphoproteins, lipoproteins and metalloproteins. Casein, which is a conjugated protein, a phosphoprotein, it is the part of this biochemistry lab. So we will discuss casein further. Then we have dry proteins. Dry proteins are the class which includes those proteins which are derived from the simple and conjugated proteins. It is not a well-defined class of proteins, and these are produced by various physical and chemical reactions and are divided in mainly two groups. These are primary dry proteins and secondary dry proteins. Primary dry proteins are denatured or coagulated proteins, and they differ in solubility. Their molecular weight is somewhat similar. However, their characteristic is also different. Example is proteins, metaproteins, coagulated proteins. Then we have secondary dry proteins. These are the proteins formed by the progressive hydrolysis of protein at their peptide linkage, result in the reduction in their molecular weight. So, example is proteosis or albumosis. What is biomedical importance of proteins? Proteins are very, very important structural components of the cytoskeleton. They are the major source of the nitrogen in the body. They provide variety of cellular components. They provide mechanical supports, and structural proteins furnish mechanical support like actin and myosins are contractile proteins, and they help in the movement of the muscle fibers, microvilli. Some proteins are present in cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus, and they act as receptors. There are some proteins responsible for the transport. For example, we have insulin-like growth factor which transfer glucose. So we have some storage proteins like they bind with specific substances and store them. For example, iron is stored as a ferritin. Few proteins are responsible for the formation of respiratory pigments, and they are found in electron transport chain or respiratory chain. For example, cytochromes, hemoglobin, myoglobin. They are also responsible to fuel the body system, and they provide the muscle mass and help the metabolism. Under certain conditions, proteins can be catabolized to supply energy. They reduce the muscle loss, and they are responsible for the buildup of lean muscle mass, and they maintain proteins by means of exerting osmotic pressure. They help the body to maintain the electrolyte and water balance as well. So these are the summary.